Man, shut the f up. Oh my god, you think you're faster than me? Okay. Okay. I'm coming. Man, see, that is what gets you in danger, bruh. Don't do that. When I was 18, I was so broken. So broken. And that year took a lot out of me. It changed me. It changed the way I think. It changed my routines. It changed my perspective. And it's funny because what broke me at the time fixed me and turned me into this. The guy that knows more than he did before. And I'm not saying that being broken is good, because how is it good to be broken, right? And maybe what fixed me was not the fact that I was broken, but how I dealt with that pain. How I dealt with myself. How I dealt with my younger self. So how did I heal? How did I deal with that pain? What did I do in the process of healing? Those cops. Bro. I just stop me, bro. Wait, guys, wait! The cops stopped me. So, what happened? I think they're fining me for my car plate, bro. Yeah. Man. 300, get down the drain, motherfucker. Oh, no.
It's a good guy, he's been up. If I was there, I should look you up.
Can't lie, I've been having a bad day, man. And just as I thought my day was gonna get good, the cops stopped me for my car plate. But it's okay. I'll be responsible for it. Why do I always get stopped? Is my car too nice? Is my car plate too nice? I don't know, bro. Holy shit. Why are they trying to stop me? You know what? That reminds me of that one time when I was driving with my windows down, right? And a frog jumped into my car from the side mirror. And it was late at night, so the police were what do you call that? They were going rounds. So I parked my car in an empty parking lot, and I opened my doors. I opened all my doors. I opened all my windows. I opened my trunk, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my luck, but the police were also there at the same time. They were going around that area. So they stopped and they checked on me. They were saying, "What are you doing? Why am I in an empty parking lot late at night, alone, with all my doors open, with my trunk open, looking around my car?" And to add on, I was holding an umbrella at the time because I was trying to push the frog out of my car. So I explained to them how I was driving with my windows down and the frog jumped into my car. And because they were there, I think it was six of them. It was 5 or 6 of them. And of course, because they were there, I asked for their help to get the frog out of my car, because they're police and police are supposed to help civilians, right? I don't know, that was my logic. And they agreed to help me, so they were like, let's do this. This is where it gets funny. They agreed to get the frog out of my car. And because there were a few of them, I expected them to do the hard part, where maybe you gotta touch the frog, you gotta catch the frog, because I ain't doing that shit, bruh. And you, as a policeman, should be brave to save your civilians, right? But no. One of them asked for my umbrella. He said, okay, I'll push the frog with the umbrella from the other side, and when it jumps out, I want you to catch it. I'm not doing that. If I was daring enough to catch it, they wouldn't even have to help in the first place. I would have just grabbed the frog when it jumped in. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Ask your friend to do it. Then I asked the other policeman to do that part of catching it in the case where the frog is still jumping around in the car and not out of the car. You know what they told me? Nah, nope. Abang tak berani. I'm not brave enough. Man, what the hell? So you're telling me you're brave enough to catch thieves, catch criminals, holding weapons, and you're not brave enough to catch a frog? That was funny. I think I recorded a video of myself thanking them after we got the frog out. And that was with my help. It was more like I was helping them, you know. Okay. Before I tell you how I healed, let me tell you what healing is to me. Healing to me is growing as a person, learning new things. It's about giving yourself a shot at living life. It's about turning into someone who doesn't use pain as an excuse to hurt others, and instead using life's inevitable pain to grow. And it's not about being a finished product of healing. It's about healing forever, because you're always gonna have problems. You're always gonna face new disasters. Healing is about changing how you deal with your problems. It's like signing a contract with yourself to have a new routine of how you're gonna start improving yourself, how you're gonna take care of yourself for yourself. I remember the first thing I did was pick up my sajadah, and I was asking Allah to show me a sign that I deserve to be happy. Please show me a sign that I'm on the right path. Please show me a sign that all this pain is worth it. And He showed me by putting me through all those tests, letting me learn from all those challenges. And now I have this knowledge. I learned from it. He put me through that so I could learn. Allah won't put you through a test that you cannot pass. He wouldn't put you through a challenge that you couldn't overcome. Even if you feel like the problem is too big or the challenge is too difficult and you couldn't get over it, it's not that you couldn't, it's just that you're telling yourself you couldn't. It's just that you don't believe in yourself enough to overcome the bigger challenges. And that's okay, because that's also part of healing. When you think you can't overcome something and in the end you do, that is where you have a reason to grow. Because when you're down, the only way is up. When you're at rock bottom, the only way is up. For you Muslims, I can't tell you much about how to improve in your deen, because I don't know, I'm just not at that level yet. So in my journey of healing, I picked up some hobbies, some very helpful hobbies. I've always loved music, especially acoustic songs. I like folk songs. I like songs that you could play at a campfire, because it sounds cozy and it makes me feel peaceful when I listen to folk songs. I listen to campfire songs and I can just imagine a fire in front of me and a circle of friends around me having a great time. So I like songs that are acoustic, and acoustic songs are normally played on the guitar. So I started learning my favorite songs on the guitar, because if I'm gonna listen to these songs every day, may as well learn about them or learn how to play them since I have a guitar. I've had my guitar for a few years now, but before I turned 18, I would say I knew the basics of guitar, but I never got myself to learn proper guitar playing. So in the past few years, I've learned a few songs. Wait, let me show you. This is a chord progression. Not really a chord progression, it's a rhythm that I've been trying to experiment for my future work so I could include my own audios in my videos. Okay. I can't play well that way, bruh. Holy. Something like that. So the guitar, I don't know. It's made me apply the same concept of learning about what I like in life. It gave me that perspective of if you like it, you should learn it. So you can own the knowledge that you like. You, not exactly. How do I say this? Oh, so you know how when you like a song, you know how your favorite song goes, but if you don't make an effort to actually learn about how it's played, then you don't own the knowledge of how it's played. You just know what it sounds like. There's a difference between knowing what it sounds like and how they play it. It made me realize that I can know about something, I can have information about something and not own that information as knowledge that I can use and put into effect. And I think playing the guitar improves your brain receptors because when you're playing, especially when you play fingerstyle, you gotta know when to pluck your first finger, second finger, third finger. Sometimes you have to pluck them at the same time and then change fingers again. Like this. Wait, you're plucking a specific string to get the sound that you desire. It's not about bam, 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 bam. It's learning to pluck the right string at the right time. And it takes a lot of practice. So it looks like this from a close-up view. Here. It took me 2 years to get to that point of plucking fingerstyle. And I wouldn't say it sounds the best, but at least I improved. Yeah, that's healing. Enough about playing the guitar. Another hobby I picked up in the journey of healing was running. Yeah, distance running. Marathons. 10Ks for me. I don't run as much as I did back then because I don't know, I think I just got a little lazy lately. Running helped me a lot because that was my first taste of the grind when I was healing. I would have ran 5 days a week at least. And I still remember when I got into running, I wasn't planning to join events or break personal records or anything. I was just running. It was just on a random night. It was on a random night when I ran my first 5K for fun, and I posted my running stats on my Instagram story. And lucky for me, my friend Mus Run Robocop Kuching, he replied to my post saying, what did he say? Wait, where's my phone? I think he said something like, I have potential and I should start training for races because apparently those were good stats for a first time runner. I ran a 5K in 25 minutes on my first run. Moose, where you at, Moose? There you are. Okay. I ran a 5K in 24 minutes and 48 seconds. You see it? Hey. 24 minutes, 48 seconds. 4:57 pace per kilometer. So he replied to my story in Bahasa Sarawak. He said, "Fuh, kita pun run baik deh. Muncul training boleh join race 5K and 10K. Mun minat mau ikut kami run, inform jap." And I can't thank him enough for giving me that invite because that changed my life. It really did. It helped me grow. It really helped me grow a lot. Translated to English, he was saying, "Wow, that was a good run. If you train yourself, you can start joining 5K and 10K races. If you're interested, you can join me on my runs. Just inform me." So with that invite, I was like, yeah, why not? Because I'm on my new journey, might as well try new things too. Because you never know if I'm gonna learn new things from running. A few days later, I joined him on a 10K run. It was my first 10K run. Oh my god, this was 2 years ago. What a throwback. So I ran, and ever since that day, he replied to me. He brought me to run even more, and it became a routine. And not even 2 weeks into running for me, he invited me to join him in a 10K race, which was fun. It was my first ever race after only having a few runs in those 2 weeks. So I used those 2 weeks to actually train and condition myself. So before race day, I was trying to run a sub 50 10K as a time trial because I was targeting something lower, which was sub 46, sub 48, I think. And I just couldn't get myself to run a sub 50. I couldn't get myself to run that fast. So I was like, how am I even supposed to achieve my target? I tried and I failed. I was like, whatever. It's only been 2 weeks, so I still have so much room for improvement. But on race day, I don't know what it was, but I think it was the dog in me. Oh my god. It was crazy. Oh my god, the adrenaline I had that morning on race day was crazy. So like I said, my target was to achieve a 46-minute 10K. But because I couldn't even run a sub 50 10K before the race, I was like, whatever, just run as fast as you can. So that target was already fading off my mind. I didn't have anything to overthink about while I was racing. So when I was racing, I was like, yeah, might as well just go as fast as I can. There's nothing to lose. It's my first race. I was just going forward, stride by stride. And for the whole race, I wasn't even looking at my watch. I wasn't looking at my heart rate. I wasn't looking at my pace. I wasn't looking at the distance. I was just like, run to the finish line. That's all you need to do. And if you can, just go as fast as you can. I remember the thing that made me go faster in the race was how the footsteps of the runners behind me were getting closer as I was slowing down when I started to feel fatigue. So I used the sound of the other runners' footsteps behind me as a portrayal of a horror movie where the ghost is chasing me. So I was like, oh my god. I was running as fast as I can. I had something to run from. And the runners in front of me were something to chase. So I was like in the middle because I'm not the fastest, because obviously I wasn't the fastest runner on that race and I wasn't the slowest either. So I was in the middle, not the middle, closer to the faster people, but I was still catching myself in between a few packs. So that was like not comfortable for me. So that was out of my comfort zone because no one was next to me to like guide me through my paces. But at the same time, that discomfort was comfortable because I had something to chase and I had something to run from. It just made me faster. And in the race, I took one sachet of energy gel. It was my first time trying it, by the way, and it tasted bad. So I was like, "Ugh," and my tummy wasn't used to it. I couldn't digest it. So towards the end, my stomach was starting to hurt. I was starting to fart. It felt like I was gonna shit myself before the finish line. Then at the last 2 kilometers, I was slowing down because of my stomach. But there was this guy, this tall, cool looking guy. He was in front of me. So I caught up to him because that was the whole uh, motivation for me, the chasing and running away from the other runners thing. Then I went next to him. I started running next to him. And I don't know why I was trying to talk to him. Maybe it was just to distract myself from the pain in my stomach. I said to him, "Bro, sakit perut bro." Then he told me to hold it in and he reminded me that the finish line wasn't far from us. We were close. So in the finishing moments of this race, I was next to this guy and he was practically pacing me because I was gonna give up. I was gonna slow down, but he was like, "Now hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on." And my friend Moose had already finished the race by then. So he was waiting 100 meters away from the finish line. He was waiting for me so that I could finish with him. So he could push me faster towards the finish line. And then I remember my eyes going black and white like what the fuck, because I pushed myself to the max. And guess what? I looked at my watch. I finished the 10K in 44 minutes. That is faster than my target. So I was like, whoa, a few days ago, I couldn't even finish a sub 50 10K. Today, I can finish 44 minute 10K. Today, I finished, and now, and on race day, I finished 44 minute. And on race day, I pushed myself for, and on race day, I finished at 44 minutes. That was, and on race day, I finished at 44 minutes. That was amazing. And it felt good for me because before race day, I couldn't even finish a sub 50 10K. And I was giving up on my target of 46 minutes. And then on race day, I did a 44. So I was like, I didn't know I had that in me. I didn't know I was capable of that. That was when I started to believe that I am more capable than I think. And the limit is way higher than I think. Sky's the limit. I placed 19 out of 450 plus runners. And not to brag, but that was a solid placement for a first time runner. And from there, I just knew that running would help me in my healing journey. Plus, the guy that I was talking to towards the end became my friend. So I went up to him after the race. Wait, no, I took a shit first. And then I went up to him after the race. And I was telling him, "Yo bro, thanks for pacing me towards the end. I took my shit already. Because of you, I held on till the end and went as fast as I could." Then we exchanged our socials, connected. We're not close, but I would say that he's a good friend because he came from a very good memory, a core memory for me. So I went on grinding on runs. I broke even more personal records, made even more new friends. So I could say that running really helped me to get through life at the time. From the way I think to connecting with new people to being physically and mentally healthier. Now my third and last hobby that I'm gonna talk about because I want to go to sleep is journaling. Write your feelings down. Write your thoughts down. Let me show you. So journaling. Writing your thoughts down, writing about how your day went, writing about what someone said to you, writing about someone, anything, just write it down. If I'm being honest, I've never been the guy that you would see holding a book or holding a pen and a book and writing down on it and just focusing on it. So journaling is something new to me. It's only been more than a month now. If I could meet that version of myself from a month ago, I would thank him for getting into journaling, because ever since then I've been writing my feelings down, and it's helped me to recognize how my thought process works. I've learned so much about myself just from writing down how I feel, what I think about certain situations, even written about my interactions with people. I've even written down about how I feel about how I feel. It makes me hungry for even more knowledge. The thing about journaling is you're always going to start with a blank page. So if you don't have anything in mind, search up journal entries. That gives you topics to journal about. Personally, I've never used journal entries because I just think it's better to start within your own mind so it's fully original. That's just me though. So do what you want, write what you want. You can write anything. You could write down about, let's say, you saw a red car today. You write down, I saw a red car today, and I feel like this red car could be less red or something. I don't know. You make it up. Make things up, bruh. Shit. Activate your brain. Write what you think, and then you can review the whole journal after writing down. You connect the dots, and you can see how you feel about certain things, how you think regarding certain situations. And it works like magic. It works like magic. By writing down what you think, by writing down the things that are on your mind, you get to solve this puzzle, the biggest puzzle known to mankind, and you get to review pieces of the puzzle as many times as you want. So when you feel lost, you can just read your own thoughts and you're like, this is how I feel. Wow. So these were the bigger things that played part in my healing journey. And I'm not saying that you should do the same things as me. You could, but I think the best way is to let yourself explore what you like. Allow yourself to go through new experiences, meet new people, engage in life. Give life a shot. I think that's all I have to say tonight. Hope it helped you. I really hope it did. I'm gonna pass out now. I'm so tired. I had a long day. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.